Peace to all of you. Peace to all of you. Peace to all of you. I've been called here. It is difficult to speak here, but I'll try. You all knew me as Jimi.
Oh, man.
Come on. Hey. And I'm glad to be here with all of you. I just have to look at you all. You're so beautiful. So beautiful. I haven't been with the earth plane for some time, for several years, though I'm called then to do some work with you in the dream state. I don't usually stay too long, but I help other guides, you know. It's difficult for me to stay in the earth plane vibration. I'm not of this plane or planet. I'm of another area or sector or quadrant in another universe system that's adjacent to this one. It is another, what we would call, or you understand it, a super universe that has many galaxies in it too, just like your universe has galaxies. And I'm more familiar with that vibration there, which I tried to, in my earth incarnation, which is one of very few that I had here, tried to give you a sense of the energy. I was called here, in a sense, called up by other beings who saw that I was needed, my energy was needed. There is a great master plan, you know, for this earth plane, for this planet. That's really incredible. That all of you are really incredible beings involved in this plan. And I feel it's outrageous that you still need to hear channelers to tell you the things you already know inside you. So I feel kind of humored by all of this. But like I say, it's beautiful. And you're beautiful. And that is what I wanted to express in my music. And I express the beauty of the sound, the beauty of form, the beauty of sexuality too, because that was needed to be expressed then. There was too much repression of the needs, the human needs, human desires, human needs to express joy and beauty in itself, in its movement, in its rhythms, in its mobility, in its expression in the flesh. That was needed to be more expressed, more engendered in others, more entrenched than in your society as a whole, to understand and appreciate the human body. That was part of the 60s, that was part of the whole trip, was bodies, Bodies everywhere. Bodies underground, bodies in the air, bodies just about everywhere. Bodies doing things to themselves, to other bodies. It was important to see it then in that light, to see it expressed sexually, to see it expressed joyously, to see it expressed musically, to see it expressed in dance, to see it expressed in action. It was a grounding technique, grounding you back into who you are as spirit in the flesh, because much of the problems now in this society is that people want to tend to run away from being bodies, from being people, from being responsible about being a human being. They want to run away. They want to run away into intellectualizations, into abstractions, into theories, into finance, into money, into anything that represents their energy except their own bodies. I was a fully formed body. I enjoyed my body. I enjoyed expressing my body. I gave full form to my body and to my expression in my music. And that was what I also intended to show, that it was important to be in love with your own body, to be loving and in love with bodies. That's something all of you need to feel a little bit more, I think, that generally speaking, the predominant culture, WASP, is uptight about bodies, uptight about bodily functions, uptight about what the body needs. It's been the result then of its own history of repression, religious and otherwise, and it's taken other cultures to bring them back, bring the WASP culture back into an understanding of the importance of loving the body. It's taken the Oriental culture and the black culture. It's taken other religions, the Oriental cultural religions, which I dabbled in, which a lot of rock stars dabbled in because we knew there was the balancing aspect in Oriental philosophy. No accident then that Bruce Lee came here this evening, or that I was called upon. We're all waiting in line.
Long line, boy.
Got a number. Got a ticket. First time I had to have a ticket for my own.
Your own gig. Wow. That's outrageous.
It's a mind blower.
Yeah.
This is the 90s.
Yeah.
Not the 60s. Which is okay. There's still some hippies here, I see.
Yeah.
In your heart. You'll never change.
That's for sure.
And I'll never change, really. I'm still who I am. In that reincarnation, in that personality, I'm still Jimmy. Though I'm also a master being that I would like to say is the name Ankar. You would like to call me Ankar.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Encore.
I've had a dream with you a couple times over the years, and talking and hanging out with you the whole night, talking about relationships. And I had this profound love for you as a friend in these dreams. I don't know if you had any part, or is it just...
That's me. That was me, sure. I like you very much. You're a good guy, you're a real good guy. Another good guy. Sure, I hang out with you. In your dreams, in your intuition, in your music sometimes, though I don't like to have to step down my vibration in that much, but I'm there with you. Like John said, Lennon, that, I'm a guide for lots of people, and that's true. I can be a lot of places, a lot of times, and it's just beautiful. It really is. It's just beautiful to be there with all of you. And I can be in a couple places at once. I can be with several people at once because I've got that ability. I had that ability before I reincarnated in a physical form. I could bilocate, trilocate, quadrilocate. And I tried to do that in my physical life too.
Didn't work, man.
Didn't work too well. Just added more bodies to mine, that's all.
Yeah.
But I see that you're all interested in wondering, what am I up to? Where can I go from there? What an ending. What a story. What a purpose. And I have my place to be now. In line right now with my ticket. But I'm in other places too at the same time. Like I say, I'm probably talking to people now asleep on the other side of the world. And I've learned in my fashion, from my experiences, about human beings more than anything else. And I gave you an expression of my energy pattern. That was my purpose also, not only just to have you understand about bodies. That was peripheral. More than that was to get an understanding of my energy and my energy source and the patterns and the codes of the energies involved, which Frank here will explicate at some time or another. More other, I guess, than now. But there are codes that relate to manifestation formula, that relate to manifesting certain forms, not only solid forms, but the etheric forms. And they have their pattern equivalent then in sound, and they have their pattern equivalent then in light. But what I was interested in was encoding these sound patterns into my music, because every time my music's played, these forms are created in the etheric realm, and then they eventually manifest into the material realm. These forms then are energy vortexes that create pockets of energy patterns to coalesce, where events can occur that are uplifting or creating certain conditions for upliftment. I was popular across the United States, but mostly on the East and West Coast, where it was needed for then these forms to appear, because these are the areas then where forms manifest, materializations occur the most quickest, in a sense, so that I operated then in these areas the most, though I had my touches with Europe too, but that wasn't long because it wasn't needed as much. There's other formula then in the code, encoded sounds that create other dimensionalizations, shall we call it. There's codes then that offer the opportunity to time travel. Make a note if you want to. That they allow you to travel in time to other planes that coexist in your space. And this allows you then the opportunity to learn from your past and your future. And this opportunity won't be really understood for maybe another 25 years. At that point, consciousness will be at a point where they can accept such realities. But these codes are also there too, and they also engender within those who listen the triggering effect for those who are needed to do this kind of work, this time travel work. This relates to, and I'm going to relate this to a concept that the dream art scientist, that's it, from the entity Sept, who I'm familiar with because I had to become familiar with some of the great entities who would be coming after me, as well as Lazarus, I believe his name is, and Ramtha, though I kind of like Sept and Lazarus myself.
Good picks.
That's a little heady, but
Yeah.
I would have liked one a little more body.
A little more meat.
Yes. Jane, skinny little chick. Yeah. But she had a lot to say, and she often said a lot. You know, she had a big mouth. Talked a lot. I was there.
You're gonna make this ticket worthwhile, isn't it?
So, dream art scientists will be the kind of people who will be able to time travel using codes, using sound, using consciousness exercises, being able to search in the past those references they need to help them create in the present. Inspiration, tradition, history. It's done now through your books and through your television and through the media generally, but this would be more precise. This would be a little more, have what you call more feeling tone to it, more of a richness to the experience, because it'll be entrenched in the person's cellular memory. Can't forget it. Won't be able to forget it. Won't be able to deny it. Whereas in the media, you can distort and move around and disparage and change and forget, you know. Maybe some of you have forgotten me already, you know. It's just it's the way it's done. And this won't be able to be forgotten. It'll be deeper. It'll be a deeper experience. Basically, what I came back to give to all of you is a sense of how a rich an experience can feel. I believe Helene was saying this before. The music gets you into a deep space really quick. And that's true. It's a deep space. It's my space. It's deep. That's where I come from. I'm deep. Out in deep space, you know.
Yeah, like universe.
I'm happy to be able to explain myself to you, because some of you didn't understand me when I tried to talk. I was often high. Fortunately, I succumbed then to the psychedelics and the drugs of the 60s as a way to induce in the physical body of this personality at that time the triggerings so that I could make my music and bring across my message. Drugs were then needed by rock stars a lot because it triggered us. It triggered the encoded blueprint patterns within our bodies, which were unique. Our bodies were special. We were different. You may have seen that or known that. We could take in a lot more drugs than most people. And that was for a reason. Though it did us in also, but we had fun while we were doing it. But I could say that now you don't need drugs because your bodies have already been changed. All of your bodies have been changed. I can see it through your auras. I can see it through your energy patterns. You don't need drugs. You hardly need food, you know. You're not going to be needing much more. Maybe some water and some good times together, but you're not going to be needing much because you're ready for action. You're ready to do what I see all of you are here to do. which is to bring about more light, to bring about more consciousness about being conscious, really, about what you are about being spirit in the flesh. It was fun to show you that. It was fun. And I talked a lot about other thoughts and feelings that were in the ethers, shall I say it then, because it wasn't in mass consciousness at the time. We're talking about spirit, and talking about spiritual qualities, and talking about being profound in the moment. Being profoundly in the moment is another, I'd say, quality I wanted to express. Expressing and feeling the moment in a very profound way, which requires then the opportunity for some to dredge back then through the past and the future qualities for that very moment. That's the moment point, as you understand it, some of you here from Sept. That moment point then is like a little bit of a black hole or a vortex point, drawing in energies then either from other spaces as a vortex would, or from other times and places as a black hole would, just to give you the distinction. I could talk a lot about black holes and white holes, but I don't want to mess up your mind too much. I'd just rather talk about a little bit more about the analogies here and what they're going to do for you and the future. I'm just going to look again at you and look at your colors. A lot of purple here tonight. A lot of purple and green. Purple haze.
Yeah. We don't need drugs now.
Now I see lots of purple haze. All right. I know you want to ask me some questions. Inevitably. So why don't you start, Frank?
Okay. Well, first I'd like to say that you're definitely my main man in music. Right. And it's strange because just from the first time I heard your music, I was connected, and I didn't know why. I was just a little kid. And I mean, there's a connection. I know what I'm supposed to do in the future, but there seems like there's some other type of connection. Can you tell me anything about that?
Well, like John Lennon said to you, there's energy patterns that are similar to his personality pattern also, and similar to my personality pattern. It would be translatable more like on a EKG machine or seismograph. It's not that loud, but it is the similar kind of sine wave and sine functions that are very similar. So your energy patterns are similar to mine. It's kind of that great intense energy kind of held in through intellectual and willful resolve rather than a clear expression, so that it comes out in fits and starts. It comes out through your language. It comes out through your creativity. Basically, this intense volcanic energy funneling through your creativity. And that's similar to mine and to John Lennon's. There's other things too.
Right.
We talk, in the dream state.
Right.
But it's because you kind of just admire what I was able to do, what I was able to express, and you want to do the same. So you think, you can be like me, and maybe you can. Why
Never
not?
too late, huh? Okay, just ask in the dream state. How do you show up in the dream state?
Well,
is it a deep level or is it?
Sometimes it's a deep level. Sometimes it's in your dreams.
Yeah, I remember him. Right, I remember a black guy in the dream.
Yeah, I come pretty much like myself. I'm not afraid to show you who I am.
Yeah,
like John is.
Yeah.
But
doesn't scare me.
I got nothing to worry about. I got nothing to fear. So
I did drugs too, so. Sure.
I'm sure you're used to these kinds of things.
Yeah. So you show up more or less when I know there's a black guy in there, and I think it's you. It's you.
Sometimes it's me, and sometimes it's your other guy. Sometimes it's what's his name? Daniel.
Oh yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
Another one. Yeah, he's a good guy. He comes into a lot with me. He works with me too.
Right.
He's a great master. He works in different universe systems also, but he concentrates on this universe right now. But I know he works in a lot of different universe systems. He's kind of one of those traveling masters.
Mm. Is there any way to get more in touch with you in the dream state? Like,
well, you could play my music if you wanted to.
I played it coming here.
That would help.
Electric Leyland.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
That's great, isn't it?
Yep.
Voodoo Child, huh?
Yep.
What is that all about?
I'll tell you in the dreams. There's a lot of stuff that I kept secret, because I wanted you to figure it out. There's a lot of mystery in me, and stuff that I didn't even know about myself. Like John Lennon said, sometimes we didn't know who we were in a way. We kind of had a sense, I knew I was great. I didn't know I was great. I didn't know I was the master signed on a mission. That was revealed to me after my death, and after I kind of woke up from my stupor, figuring things out. But so that's how you can find me if you want to trigger your own memory through my music. But you also can just ask for me more bluntly, like come here.
Yeah. I can command you. That sounds easy.
Direct approach.
Yeah. Okay, that's easy enough. Come here.
That's right. You practice. You practice with your dogs, so you can try it with me.
I like to put you on a higher plane there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy.
I have a question, Jimmy.
Sure.
How you doing? It's good to
Fine.
talk with you.
Good talking to you, too.
And my posters are all around your posters are all around my house and so forth.
Yeah.
And to me, I think the greatest work that I had in my house musically is the End of Wild thing at Monterey Pop Festival. And just listening to it, the first time I heard it, I saw it as noisy blues, and I knew there was lots and millions of things, subtleties in that music. It's taken years to catch up with it. And I just have a question: Is Noel and Mitch from the same universe as you?
Noel is, but Mitch isn't.
Mitch is not? That's surprising.
I know, because he sounds a lot.
Right, yeah. He sounded your exact tonality. He knew everything you were doing.
Well, because he was a student of mine. You see, I taught him in dream state, but he's not from my universe. No. It doesn't have to be to sound like me,
Yeah.
But Noah was.
Yeah.
Noah was sort of like kind of my aide.
I see.
Kind of helped me along, sometimes in personal things. And
kind of balanced you.
Balanced me out.
I see. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the song "Axe as Bold as Love." Is that a song about auras? I see when you talk about all the different colors.
Yes, it's about auras, but it's about color, generally speaking, that has its profound effect. On the earth plane especially, your eyes and the pineal gland are very particularly tuned into a certain band of frequency of color, and colors then represent not only auric field or subtle energies, but can reflect also the energy wheels of the chakras, but also can represent feeling tones and memory states and trance states and a lot of different levels of consciousness. So that was all kind of blended in my expression in the songs and other songs too.
I see. I have one more question. I felt as though that you were around me quite a few times. Could you confirm this for me?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm around you. I'm around most of you here in this room. I've seen once or twice at least. Some of you I am a guide to. I'm a guide to you, Lenny.
I believe that.
Yes, I am.
Because I feel as though I'm going to undertake to make some homemade music, and I would like to ask for your guidance through that. I was experimenting with feedback. I don't know how you ever control that. It's truly amazing. So if I could just ask for your guidance whenever I undertake that.
Yes, and I think that perhaps if you work along with some of the other people here in the room, sometimes get together and jam.
Hey.
You know, I would like that myself.
Hey,
that would be great. Just to see you work together too. It would be a good thing to do. Technique I can go over later with you. Yes, any more questions? And over here.
I have a question. Oh, you want to go ahead?
No.
All right. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Sue.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. You know what? I was watching this documentary yesterday on you, and I sort of felt that you were there. Were you there? Were you here?
I was watching the show.
His favorite fan.
I was like, wait a minute. But I figured, I'm pretty sure it was you. So do you like help me, or are you around me?
I think you're cute.
Back to the bodies again.
I don't help you as much as say I help, other people, but I'm with you because John Lennon, he's your guide, and I help him sometimes. So I sit in, I perceive, I watch, I tune in to his little wards, to the people under him, Yeah.
And also, about color, I guess I thought, I don't know, sometimes when I was first recording my songs, I would see each color, each song sort of gave me a color, a kind of feeling for color. So now I hear that you're, really interested in colors and stuff, so what does color mean? Does a color mean, a certain vibration of a sound or something, or?
Yeah. Put it simply, it's an equivalent. It's analogous to a certain sound level or sound vibration pattern. But I also say it's analogous to, or the same as, certain feelings and certain emotions and certain levels of consciousness. And so it's a code. It's a code kind of thing that represents a whole view, a whole way of seeing things. When you're feeling blue, you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed. There's a whole way of describing yourself when you just say, I feel blue, So, blue then is a code represented by the color for a feeling state, a way of seeing things, a way of feeling, a way of being. You could be blue for the rest of your life, Wouldn't bother me, but you could be blue, and then you could be green. Being green with envy, or just that's the common understanding, but just I'm in a green mood. That could evoke all kinds of things. And you just think about that concept, being green, being pink, what that means to you. And then all of a sudden the words and the music just flows, That's one way to approach it. That's one way I approached it. In my music, I got into a kind of a color mood sometimes. I liked color during some of my life. I wore a lot of colorful clothes, and it's because I needed that impetus. Yeah.
Huh.
Jim.
Wait, I just have a couple. One more. Jim. What about Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin? Were they sort of the same way? And do you ever see Janis or anything like that?
No, I don't see those two. They're from this universe system, and they had different functions, but they also had a master's status. They were not just evolving beings, human beings, but they had ascended and been asked to return. But they had different purposes, similar though, in that they could trigger large masses of people in different ways. Jim Morrison was a romantic. He really was a romantic at heart. And what he was trying to do was bring back some romantic vision or ideal in a kind of way that would challenge authority. He was kind of a bit of a nut too, towards the end. But he got carried away with himself, which is what happened with a lot of, stars, including myself. I kind of got into my act. But he wanted to re-invoke something of what I think is the 18th century, visionary, artist, idealist, romantic kind of feeling. Sort of the gentleman Jim, That was his thing. And Janis, she really was a feminist, She really wanted to promote the status of women to that of a man. She wanted almost to be a man, She kind of had that hard driving, tough gal quality that was provocative, at that time. Because women were coming out of the 50s, model marriage thing, where they couldn't be much more than just wife and mother and slave, to the house. And she just kind of blew that away, with her ways, So that was part of her mission too, is to kind of blow away certain understandings for women, though she didn't understand herself enough. That was unfortunate. She kind of suffered her own indiscretions. She vacillated herself between her own images. She didn't know who she was sometimes, as I figure it for her. That's what I think about her. And we all kind of knew each other, we all hung out, went to the same places, had the same gigs, knew the same people, producers and whatnot, but I didn't hang out with them too much. But I liked them, I liked their style. I liked what they were trying to do.
Thanks.
Yeah, anybody over here now?
Yeah. One thing I do admire is the album covers on some of your albums, and then the artists, do they channel some of that stuff? I mean, there's some wild stuff on some of your album covers that would go on there, and it's always kind of fascinated by some of it. There was one, I forget which album it was.
Probably Actors Bull.
Yeah, with all the Indian
Yeah,
style.
yeah, all the Indian stuff, and then I think that was pretty neat. Do you have good fingers that help do that, or do you bring up some ideas with that?
Well, I
yourself?
brought up some of the ideas myself. I said, I want something like this, for my cover.
Yeah.
And then they'd go out and find an artist who was hip to that kind of feeling. There's a lot of them out there, at the time. They were all experimenting, and it wasn't too hard to find artists. Some of that stuff I rendered myself, got an idea for it, but it was it was a beautiful time, a lot of beautiful people.
Yeah, what were your feelings during the time of Woodstock? I remember a classic, which you did the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock. And I thought that was pretty neat. Because I felt you were really giving your reflection of how you saw red, white, and blue, so to speak. And a lot of people, in most cases, put you down for it. But I kind of respected for what you tried to do. What were your feelings? What were you thinking at that time?
Yeah, well, it was kind of a meditation, it was kind of an act of meditation. I'd get into the song and I'd get in the moment, I was able to get into the moment. And at that moment, I saw the wars coming, I saw the wars coming up. More of the war, the Vietnam War and these little Cold Wars we're having now, I saw all of that, and I wanted to show that in the moment, that was what, America represented, was war, was killing, was a military machine. I saw that in the moment. I saw that was what was coming up. I had to say it then and there. I had to get it out, because that was repressed.
Yeah.
That was held back too long. Too long.
I think at that time, it touched a lot of people when you did that.
Yeah, I wanted to shock them.
I was very impressed by that.
Shock
And of any other songs you've ever done, that was most impressive to me.
Thank you. I enjoyed it, I enjoyed doing it. I knew what I was doing. I knew I was going to shock them.
Seemed to.
Yeah. But that was part of my mission. I couldn't help it too. You know, part of my mission had to be
Yeah.
provocative, which I was. You know, I enjoyed that too. A lot of us stars were provocative in both our private and public lives. We couldn't help ourselves at times. I'll take a one or two more questions.
Can I ask one question about, you're talking about songs, the song Angel that you wrote. You know, out of all the songs, it seems like that's at a real high frequency or high, I don't know how to describe it. It seems kind of separate in a way.
Yeah, there's some aspects to it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Well, I could say I channeled that one. That was one that I wasn't really familiar with in my own way. I kind of just got an inspiration one night to write it that way. Though I was also thinking of someone when I wrote the song. You know, I was thinking of a girl. But I think there was some difference than my normal music in that I picked up some melody first. You know, picked up the melody, and it didn't seem like mine myself. At the time, I was also kind of high. Sometimes I wrote when I was high, and I got some good stuff because it was all coming from inside me, you know. But this was coming outside of me, and I think, if I must say, then it's paying to the angels, you know, who are here now on the earth plane, come down.
Yeah.
And I was kind of
babes.
bringing it in the thought.
Okay.
Though I didn't know it at the time. I was talking about a girlfriend.
Okay.
Anyone else? One more question.
Can you speak about like dichotomy of the light workers and those sort of opposite the light workers, and what attitude or energies us light workers are to carry so as not to get like shot by a dark worker and all?
What? Espionage.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been attacked myself, you know. I wouldn't say much except, you know, do what you have to do at the time. Do what you think is right, because that's always light, you know. You're a light worker no matter what you do, you know. Even if you fell down and played dead, you know, you'd be still a light worker. You know,
Very effective, but...
you know, it just kind of just groveled, you know. I had to do that sometimes just to get through the thing, but,
Get high.
you know, it's what you feel inside all the time is that makes you the light worker and them not. You got to feel like you know who you are, you know, you got to feel this joy, the beauty that I see in all of you. You got to feel that beauty in you. That's what I like you to...
Do you have any indication of why that happened? Or can you ask somebody up there?
I think it was something your guides would be able to tell you, you know, because lots of things go on with people that they don't understand, and it takes a long time for them to figure out. But once they figure out, they say, oh yeah, that's right. Sure, got it.
You don't have that on tape, John?
I got
Oh, good. That's a kick his ass.
Yeah, let's call it like it is, you know. You were just damn pissed. You just want to kick that sucker. That's what you really want to do. That's all your questions are all about. You're just damn pissed. So just say it and say it like it is. That'll help you become even, you know, lighter.
Yeah, I get that shit right off you and get lighter.
Yeah, you know. Lighter inside, you know, outside, but, you know, lighter.
Okay.
Happier. You know, a little feeling good. That's what it's all about. Feeling good. Feel good. You know. So I hope I answered your question the way you'd like it
Yeah,
to
I
be.
think so.
You know, you gotta express yourself more, Alan. That's your problem, really.
Yeah,
You just
I
gotta
know.
get it out. Get out in your music, you know. Get your music together, all right? You know, I've been watching you too, and I think you've just been.
Well,
Whoa, you've been watching, huh?
Avoiding yourself. Yeah, I guess that's best way to put it. You know.
Little Mr. Strange.
Yeah, so I think, you gotta get together with Frank over here. and maybe Lenny.
Okay.
And do your thing. What you want to do. So do it already. Do it already.
That's tunes, that's music?
Yeah, tunes, sound, feeling, all that feeling that you got inside you, you're not showing.
Yep.
The
Cancer outside and the Scorpio inside.
That's right. All those signs, they're all mixed up anyway. Tell me.
Okay, it makes sense. That's.
Oh, yes.
Can I get one more question, Jimmy?
Okay.
How about confirming for me that you took your life in suicide?
Yeah.
I believe you did.
Yeah, it was suicide. It wasn't conscious because I think I was high at the time, but it was an accidental overdose, but it was suicide also underneath. I knew what I was doing. Just like, some of the other people talking here, they knew they had to go, and yet they couldn't maybe face it consciously. A lot of them couldn't face it consciously, so they had other circumstances come in to give them the opportunity to leave with grace, with a way of saying, well, I didn't kick myself in the face or anything. I just accidentally took some pills. Or someone shot me, I couldn't help that. Something like that, or blew up in an airplane.
How come you had to go?
Well, there was a certain time period that was given to me to do what I had to do, create certain musical records, certain number of records, and it was just determined, through myself and say my guides. Also, we call them guides, but they're really my colleagues. It was just determined there was a certain time that I needed to leave because the impact of my death would have as much an effect as the impact of my music. Same with John Lennon, same with all of them.
Right.
Their impact really gave it to you, and you're still mourning, you're still thinking about us, and that's important. That was, that's why we left when we did.
So we're thinking about you partly because you died?
Yeah, sure.
You don't want to become a has-been. Still be here
But,
and just kind of
and
fade
also,
away.
why are we still hanging on to like all that 60s stuff? I mean, I know it's supposed to happen again, but I mean, it never happened to the people in the 40s. We forgot them almost.
Well, yeah, the music is different. There's a lot of stuff in the music. Like I say, there's all kinds of codes and references to things, and it's going to take you years to figure it out, and so there's part of you,
It'll take me years, I know that.
It's going to be years, down the line. This stuff was great stuff. You don't know, it's classic.
And we're just catching up in a sense.
Yeah, you're catching up to all the levels of awareness that went into that music. You're just beginning to experience, for yourself now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's important. It's still helping you grow to become who you are, who you will be, who you'd like to be anyway, who I thought I'd like to be. Also, I grew with my music too, the personality, grew.
I never saw your music as 60s music. I see that you're light years ahead of this world. And I can't really see any time in your music. You did things so fast and you didn't have time to breathe.
Yeah, well, that fastness, of course I was trained before I came into the earth plane to play that fast, because if you break the music down, there's lots of stuff in the riffs, in the passages, and each piece can be analyzed and appreciated by itself, And that happens when you analyze my music and try to play it. I know a lot of you out there tried to play my music,
It's impossible.
And some, you get pieces of it, and that's right. That's what you're supposed to do, You're supposed to just get pieces.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. It's
One
beautiful. It's just beautiful the way it is. Just remember those words, beautiful, because, I used to say that a lot, and I still mean it. You're all beautiful. And just think the words, I'm beautiful. Right? And that's what I'm going to leave you now with, those words. You're beautiful.
Can you come back again?
I'm going to come back again. Of course, I have to. But I got my ticket. You know,
Yeah.
wait for that new
Sneak
ticket.
in line again.
And I'll see all of you later then. Peace to
Take
all
it
of
easy,
you.
Jimmy.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Jim,
Jim.
baby.